Samsung has just announced its line of flagship smartphones for 2023. And in this video, we're going to be taking a look at what's new with the Galaxy S23 series, including design changes, improved specs, and much more. Starting off with the design, the Galaxy S23 and S23 Plus take their design cues from the S22 Ultra, sporting a single-tone matte back, individual camera housings for all three lenses, and a slightly more angular body. Meanwhile, the S23 Ultra pretty much looks like the same as last year's model. All S23 phones continue to feature an armor aluminum construction, and the devices now use Gorilla Glass Victus 2 for the display, resulting in improved drop performance. The phones will be coming in some new colorways, including Phantom Black, Cream, Green, and Lavender. However, there will also be some Samsung.com exclusive colors for the S23 Ultra, such as Lime, Graphite, Sky Blue, and Red. Now, according to Samsung, two of those exclusive colors will be available for the S23 and the S23 Plus, but it's not clear which colors the company will offer for those models. Looking at the front of the device, the S23 series retains similar display specs as last year. Highlight specs include a 6.1-inch display for the S23, 6.6-inch display for the S23 Plus, and a 6.8-inch curved edge display for the S23 Ultra. However, what's new this year is the fact that all three devices, including the entry-level S23, will be equipped with brighter displays, featuring a peak brightness of 1750 nits across the entire product line. This bump in brightness is a welcome addition, especially for when you're using the phone in bright sunlight. Now, we can't wait to see how bright these displays really are during our tests, so be sure to stay subscribed to the channel and keep a lookout on AndroidAuthority.com for our full reviews. Under the hood, the Galaxy S23 series brings the new Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor to all markets. That's right, no more Exynos here, Qualcomm there. Samsung is only releasing one version of the S23 lineup globally. And according to Samsung, the processor in its new phones isn't just some normal Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor. The company has actually partnered with Qualcomm to overclock its chips for the S23 series. Now, this shouldn't make a massive difference in performance over the standard Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, but it does allow Samsung to market its phones as the fastest on the market, at least at launch. If you want to learn more about the improvements associated with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, my colleague Gary over at Gary Explains made a great video about the processor, which you should check out after this video. But the TLDR of this is that the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor aims to deliver better gaming performance, improved AI processing, support for spatial audio thanks to Snapdragon Sound, and of course support for beefier cameras with higher megapixel counts. Speaking of cameras, the S23 Ultra sees a big upgrade in its camera system as it now sports the long-awaited 200 megapixel main camera sensor. Now, this high megapixel count allows you to take really sharp images in ideal lighting conditions and lets you take photos via Samsung's 100x space zoom technology. By default, the S23 Ultra will shoot photos using the main camera at 12 megapixels, binned at a 16:1 ratio with a 4:3 aspect ratio. However, you will have other shooting modes to choose from, including shooting true 200 megapixel photos that are not binned. And you can also shoot 50 megapixel photos binned at a 4:1 ratio. By the way, if you want to learn more about pixel binning and why it's so important and how it works, be sure to check out our full explainer in the video up in the corner right here. As for the other cameras of the S23 Ultra's rear camera system, the rest of the cameras host pretty much the same specs as last year. And the same can also be said for the rear cameras on the S23 and S23 Plus. However, all S23 devices will now feature the same 12 megapixel selfie camera. And while the hardware for the front-facing camera will remain the same across the product line, Samsung claims that the S23 Ultra's selfie camera will feature better image processing algorithms. The Galaxy S23 and S23 Plus will come with slight improvements to its batteries. The S23 and S23 Plus now feature 3,900 mAh and 4,700 mAh batteries respectively, which is a 200 mAh bump in capacity for each. Meanwhile, the S23 Ultra will retain the same 5,000 mAh cell as the S22 Ultra. Looking at the software side of things, all Samsung Galaxy S23 devices will be shipping with Android 13 and OneUI 5.1 installed. This latest version of Samsung's Android Skin offers quite a few improvements, including more customization features than ever before, the ability to use a video as a lock screen wallpaper, and a new system widget that allows you to drag and drop to save space. You'll also get 4 years of OS upgrades and up to 5 years of security patches with the S23 series. When it comes to pricing and availability, pre-orders actually start today, with in-store availability on February 17, at least within the US. The entry-level S23 starts at $799 and comes with 8GB of memory and 128GB of storage. The S23 Plus, on the other hand, starts at $999 and comes with 8GB of memory and 256GB of storage. Meanwhile, the S23 Ultra will start at $1,199 and comes equipped with 8GB of memory and 256GB of storage. Of course, the phones are also available in other configurations if you need more storage, and then with the S23 Ultra, if you get more storage, you can also get more memory. Now, we at Android Authority cannot wait to get our hands on these devices for our full reviews, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel and check us out on our website for our full thoughts on Samsung's latest flagships. But what do you think of the Galaxy S23 lineup? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let us know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified of when we upload next. I'm Harley Morano with Android Authority, and I'll see you in the next one.